Hello, This is a Cry for Help, and I wanted to talk about something a bit more interesting today. I just want to preface this video by saying do not harass anyone involved. Nobody deserves to get harassed, and I do not condone that. Now, on to the topic at hand. What you're seeing in the background is me playing, albeit poorly, a childhood game of mine. And this is actually one of the first ever games I ever played. This is N from 2004, and it's always been such a relaxing game to me. And its sequel, N++, has also been a great game for me because of just the sheer amount of content in it. It's actually a game I've bought several times. I bought it on PC, Nintendo Switch, and also Xbox One, just to support the developers. I even bought some merchandise from their Etsy store because of how much I wanted to support them. But there's a game missing from that pile, and that's N+. And that's what this video is about. I think N+ deserves to be re-released. It hasn't gotten a re-release ever since the Xbox 360, and I think it deserves to get re-released on Steam, at least for the sake of preservation, I think. Preservation is important for video games, and N+ was one of the first ever Flash games to go mainstream. Of course, it wasn't the first one ever, but it's one of the most notable, and I think that's important to archive. And it's also a really interesting topic to look back on. Hell, it'd also be interesting to have a modern way to play a game which features a character that featured in Super Meat Boy, because the ninja from N+ featured in that game. The main complaint I have at the moment is this. Playing this game is not that accessible, and it's such a shame because the game is really unique compared to the other N games, and is also just really cool in general. Like, I don't want to have to resort to emulation. I want to support these indie developers. If they need to re-release this Xbox 360 Live Arcade game with all the DLC in mind, that's fine. And it could be cool to see maybe the DS or PlayStation Portable levels added into that version as well. But if that version ever comes to be, which I hope, then I hope they at least put it on Steam, at least for cheaper than N++, as it could add as a great entryway between N and N++ for people who aren't sure on either, and yet still want that quintessential N experience. And it would also just be great for really big fans of the franchise, like me. And it would be fascinating to see this game come back. It may be outdated, but who knows, maybe it's pretty good. It's just not that accessible at the moment, which I think it deserves to be, because all games deserve to be accessible. Especially this game. Emulating Xbox 360 games is not that viable at the moment. Like, you can do it, but it's very complicated. PlayStation Portable emulation is only okay, and DS emulation is good. But I don't want to have to do that, you know? I want to support these developers, and I really hope this video reaches them, and maybe gets them to consider thinking about re-releasing this game at some point, at least in the future. Now, please don't go harass them, that's not going to solve anything. I just hope maybe one day this game comes back, because I really want to try it, just for the sake of, like, you know, trying something from the history of a thing I grew up on. But also, I think it'd be good for a lot of fans too. A neat little part of history, you know? That's all from me. Cry signing off.